Well, hello. I have a bit of a conundrum because a couple of people have been to see me over probably the last few years, but specifically last few months, and there's been a big unloading of some stuff about women wanting to win their guy back. Now, who split? She split, or whatever. She loved him, all that sort of stuff. And to all intents and purposes, she's left, and something needs to happen to get them back. So, is that impossible? Well, it turns out no, it's not. Now, what I'm talking about here is real relationships, okay? We're not talking about one of these 3 months or 6 months flings where you might be in some sort of relationship. This is the relationship 3 years, 4 years, that sort of thing. Now, one particular woman came to me. She was convinced that her relationship was dead. There was one small snag. She still loved him. There was no doubting that the relationship was in trouble. So there's a couple of gaps here. We roll on a few years, and I did a reading for this woman, and she'd listened to it a few times, and it wasn't too a year or two later, after the guy left. He left her, actually, which was she was going to leave him, but he left her. She went into complete meltdown. No sleep, too much alcohol, box of chocolate. Days off work, the whole thing. Then she listened to her reading again, and something popped within her. Something big, actually. And the words that popped, rang in her ears, were something I said was, only you can change the situation, which is great. Then I also came up with some stuff about her plotting. She'd need to plot something for her life, whether she was going to get him back or not, it didn't matter. So the question came up, and I said to her, you need to pop this question. What is it you really want? Okay. Well, she went away, and this was her story, and she relayed to me, and it took weeks. But she came up with, what I really want is to mature and grow old with Philip. This was the partner. Doesn't get much simpler than that, does it? So then the plot starts, and there are a number of steps to this plot. So you need to race off and get yourself paper and butcher's paper and whatever, and crayons and felt pens and all that stuff, and you set the music going, and maybe it's a glass of wine, maybe it's cups of tea and coffee, and you work on it. Okay, now what we do here, it's all about you. It's not about him. Okay? So what we do is we start with step number 1. And step number 1 is, who am I? This is, who are you? You're the person doing this. And who am I really? And there's questions, lots and lots of them. And they're listed below. They're things like, what motivates you? How do you get into this? What are your habits? What sort of personality are you? A really good one is to hop on and get your horoscope done and look at the good bits and the bad bits about you. Are you the sort of person who always has to be right? Do you let your sexuality shine through? Do you love and appreciate your beauty? How do you captivate others? There's a whole lot of stuff. Okay. Do you relax? Do you overthink things? All that sort of stuff. Okay. That's number 1. Then number 2 is you go on to him, and it's a similar process, but it's a lot difficult because you might think you know him, but your actual fact, you don't. You need to dig deep to find out about him. So we say, who is he? This is number 2. So I need to talk to his family and some friends or some colleagues at work or whatever. And the things that come out are maybe his personality type, habits, what motivates him, what does he love, what does he hate, hopes, dreams and desires. I would be thinking experiences, his strengths and his weaknesses. An important one would be about his childhood. What are the stories in his childhood? Most people never find this out, especially about men. They don't talk about it. Women do, but men don't. Is he an overprotector? Is he a controlling sort of guy? Okay, so that's him. Then step number 3 is all about what went wrong. And you'll come up with some stuff, and what you'll do immediately here is you'll put it over onto his court. This is not about him, this is about you. And this is the stuff that you'll be challenged with. And when I say what went wrong, it is about you, and it is not about him. Okay? You cannot be in a frame of mind of blaming him, blaming his mother, blaming his work, his best friend. You know, if you're doing that, you need to focus it back to you. Okay, it's really important. Okay, so these are the questions you ask, and these are tough. What hurtful, spiteful things did you say or do? How do you shut him down? Do you understand him as a man? What don't you understand him about as a man? These are tough. How did you destroy the relationship? Why did you shut him out? What was competitive in the relationship? Was there anything competitive? What were the really, really good things about the relationship? And what happened when things started to go bad? Who shut down whom? You know, who got angry? I'd say it was probably you. Who got emotional? All that sort of stuff. Okay. So, and as I said, these things are about you. They're not about him. You're looking from your perspective, not his. This is really important. You know, we know he did things wrong. This is not the issue. It's about you. Next comes step number 4. This is where you identify what you need to do, okay? And this is where this question of what I really want. What is it you really want? Do you want this guy? And you need to identify if that's the case, okay? So what we do here, there's 2 parts to this, okay? Number 1 is you're going to get him at some stage. You're going to pick out 1 or 2 things that you've just come up with before, and you're going to think about those 2 things in front of him, and you're going to explain your mistakes. You need to allow him to understand from his perspective that yes, you made mistakes, that you want to rebuild, okay? And one of the things you'll probably come up with is something, a quote, something you could say to him which will, it's 100% right. And it'd be something, what I really want, you know, it's going back to that question again, what I really want is you. Song's about it, I know this. And I'll do whatever it takes to have you in my life. And the second part of this bit is you need to take action. So it's not just saying, I want you and doing nothing. You'll need to take action. You will need to prove to this man that you will improve. Okay? Anyway, this whole process is pretty good anyway, because you do come up and you want to be a better person anyway. You might be a better person and think, I'm going to be a better person anyway. And the whole thing might be about becoming a better person. So, you'll need to, there's a big rub in this actually, there's a real, it's not a challenge, but here's the rub, you know. You need to identify and dump all these actions in a way he understands, okay? It's not about the way you understand, you're going to have to learn to talk his language, okay? He's a man. Give me a call, I can help you with that, you know, I'm a man. And then, the last step of this is you need to do the business, okay? You need to grab the list, you select an issue, you discuss it with him and admit that you realise you always need to be right or whatever it is, and you need to work through it. And then you're going through part A, that's apologise for being like that, you know, apologise for, or admit that you made a mistake. And explain the mistake, and then you go into part B of the action thing. So that's what you need to do. They're your steps. This can be done. It's actually very, very powerful, and it works. Okay. Leave me some feedback if this is a good thing or bad thing. I'd just love to know. There's a lot of thought gone into this because I know this stuff works. Okay? You have a fantastic day and make it an awesome year too.